Hey everyone. I just had a meeting earlier today with some people on my team with Elite Education, and we're an education group in Minneapolis, but we also, serve people around the world. My apologies if there's a loud wind. I'll do my best to talk into the mic here. This is really important. So one of the guys I work with, John, brought this up to me. He said, "Hey, did you hear that there was some shots fired at the school over in Plymouth?" And it's like, no. My mom's actually a teacher over at one of those schools. And I'm like, all right, what's going on here? So I look it up. I just made a post about it. But really consider this. Like, that's not... Like, that's something that people are becoming numb to. The fact that... I just want to make sure the sound's working. Someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. The fact that that's not a red alert for every single person who has their child in school is a serious problem. A serious problem. That any kid can go to school, and whether they have a gun or a knife, or they're just talking about the porn that they're watching or random stuff, that becomes imprinted into your child. Now, do I have kids yet? No. But Jess and I are on track for it. But I don't need to have kids to realize the common sense of putting your child for 8 hours a day in a school. First off, did you even like school? Because odds are you didn't like school. So, but you put your kid back in that same position. What was that explanation from Albert Einstein of what the definition of insanity is? Was it doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result is a good thing? No, that's insanity. But that's what we do. We went through the school system, and then we put our kids back into it. It was never good. It was never a good school system. It had a few people filter to the top. They're the ones who become doctors, lawyers, and they uphold the system. Okay. Meanwhile, you have a couple billionaires, the technocratic elite, that are happy for the school system because it gets them the smartest engineers and everything. But what happens when Amazon implements robotics into their warehouses, even more than they already have, and the vast majority of Amazon employees get laid off because that's where it's headed? Are our kids who go to this school system going to be ready for that? No, clearly not. Kids can't even critically reason or understand basics of finance when they get out of school. Now we're putting them into a world where not just automation is taking over, but you look at countries and standards of countries in education, and America keeps falling behind, but all countries don't understand the first thing about education, which is about fundamentally supporting the entire human, all aspects. So not just in terms of memorizing stuff for a test, but a real education is about instilling principles within a child, supporting them to understand how to work through their mind and the feelings and emotions that come up. Learning how to take responsibility, for example, and figuring out what they can devote themselves to for their life, whether it be business or a line of work, that's in alignment with what's actually best for everybody. Figuring out how we can get every human on the planet basic needs met, so you'd be okay trading places with other people. Like, that's a real education. School doesn't teach that. That's not the purpose of school. But right now, school is a circus where people are sending their kids. And I get it. If a parent has to work, of course, it's like, that's what they think is, send my kid to school, and they'll, or kids go to school so they can get a meal. So that's the only place where they're guaranteed food. So I get that. There's context here where not every parent can just pull their child out of school right now. But guess what? For parents who want an option of how to work and design your schedule, reach out. These are the solutions that we offer. I'm not here just making videos complaining about the situation. I'm here providing solutions. And I'm also bringing to light the situation. Because the fact that right down the road, thankfully no one got killed, but some kid brought a gun to school and there were shots fired. And that is just accepted as normal. What? What the fuck? Kids are expected to sit in school for 8 hours a day with masks on, listening to a teacher who's wearing a mask. Like, I did fairly well in school, and I hated it. It's like this place where kids go, and really what you're learning is how to navigate the social hierarchy. You're learning how to interact with peers and learning how to find ways to get attention, and it's this whole game. And then you're supposed to memorize some stuff for a test, which again does not prepare you for anything. They don't teach you how to apply that knowledge. My real education started when I got into business, but specifically within the business of what we're doing with Elite Education, which is supporting families, individuals, and people that actually want to learn, because it involves, guess what? It involves a lot of failure. It involves a lot of me pushing my comfort zone. They don't teach you that in school. Sure, you have to go stand in front of the class and deliver a speech. Who cares? You're not getting real feedback from the world when you do that. You're getting feedback from a teacher. Oh, remember in high school, there was a class called economics, and it's like business and economics. Even in university. I never took business class in university, thankfully. Because guess what? It's being taught by a professor. Who do you listen to? Why are you listening to a professor? There's nothing necessarily... No, there's something wrong with that. Because that professor is perpetuating this whole system of abuse. If you're a professor, check out what we're doing. We're supporting people to actually reopen their natural learning ability, which shuts off after you're 7 years old. We're supporting people to actually know and understand and process information, something that the world does not have enough of. We're supporting people to build vocabulary, which is understanding of how the world works. Think of, what is it that you really want for yourself or your kids? You want to be happy, successful, have guaranteed roof over your head. Maybe you want to find your purpose, feel fulfillment. Guess what? It takes a bunch of words placed in the right order to explain that and understand that for yourself. That's vocabulary. No one ever taught us that. I remember from school, vocabulary was like, you had to learn some new words that like, you just memorize. Memorize the words and the definitions. They started taking vocabulary out of the different tests that we did. So it's just this whole system, it's just collapsing. I know 80% of you aren't even going to be able to hear this. But for the 20% that realize, I shouldn't put my kids in school. That could be tomorrow that your kid goes to school and there is that school shooter. And something horrible happens. I don't wish that on anyone. But that's the reality of the situation. And I would be the most selfish, evil person if I didn't speak up about this. Because I know we have the solution. And for parents, so for anyone who goes, well, that's easy for you to say. What about parents who have to work? Guess what? We have a solution. I'm not going to promise it's an overnight fix. But you reach out and we work together over the next 6 months. I'll show you exactly how to free yourself from your job. So I've seen it done time and time again because we have something that works. So again, 80% of you aren't going to be able to hear this. But for the 20%, reach out and share this. Because seriously, when's it going to be that it's going to be your local school and some kid that you love is gone? Because either a tragic event or because they spend 12 years of their life, 8 hours a day being brainwashed by a system that's already shown that it's failing. Much less now we have this post-COVID world where the rules have changed. You okay with that? I'm not. And again, I'm sharing this because I would be evil if I didn't. I'd be just allowing this abuse. But I see what's up, and I have the solution. It's not just me, it's a lot of us. So, consider, take your kids out of school, learn how to educate them. You can do all this in less than an hour a day. Think how much more free time you have if you spend an hour a day in education mode, and the rest of your day you spend doing fun things. I have a family that I know, I've got to know over the past year, and they had one of their kids, and they didn't want anything to do with what they're doing. Like the business that they run, they're homeschooling their kids, they're using TechnoTutor to help their kids learn, and he was very resistant to the education and wanting to do that. Fast forward now, I think it's 9 to 12 months. This kid now wants to start his own business helping distribute TechnoTutor. He's a high schooler, I think, late middle school, high schooler, and he's talking about how he wants to now have a girlfriend and take responsibility. Show me one kid who went to school and wanted to take more responsibility. But I can show you many kids and plenty of adults that are willingly taking on more responsibility because of what we're doing with our solution to education. It's about real learning. Fundamentally supporting people to process information, to learn, to read, and apply that information into the real world so that we can create a better solution. So we don't have to have a world where some kid feels the need, or for whatever reason that kid is acting out and brings a gun to school. That's unacceptable. And if you're okay with that, you are evil. So we can change it. All right, that's all for now.